May peace be with you. Hi guys, this is Shahadat, and in today's video I'm going to try and answer the question why people who consume more vegetable fat end up having more stroke and cardiovascular disease. Yes, that's exactly what I'm claiming. Now, I'm not a biologist, I'm not a biological scientist, or I'm not a doctor even. So where am I getting all this information from? Well, I'm getting this information from somebody who is a doctor and who is a professor of cardiology in the US. His name is Dr. Nadir Ali. In the description section of my video, I'll put a link of his original lecture. So if any of you are interested to find out more, you can do that. Now, let's go back to the topic that we are going to discuss today. What it appears happens is when people have more vegetable oil, consume more vegetable oil, their body gets filled with this compound called phytosterol. Phytosterol is the cholesterol equivalent of plants. So our body gets more phytosterol, and that's probably is one of the reasons why people get more stroke. Now, if you think about cholesterol, and if you do a little bit of research about cholesterol, you will see that cholesterol is actually, contrary to what is normally told to us, very important for our body. If we do not take cholesterol from outside, if we do not take cholesterol with our food, then our body actually makes about 1500 milligrams of cholesterol every day. So what does the cholesterol do? Well, cholesterol is used in every single cell of our body. The cell membrane of every cell is designed or is built with cholesterol. So without that, our body structure will not work. All the hormones are based on cholesterol. Quite a few vitamins won't function unless we have cholesterol in our body. Quite a few hormones won't function. For example, insulin will not function unless we have cholesterol in our body. So cholesterol is actually really, really important. Now, what happens if we take a lot of vegetable oil? Vegetable oil has got a huge amount of phytosterol, and phytosterol, once it goes into our gut, it competes with cholesterol for absorption. So that means in our diet, if there are cholesterol and phytosterol, it is likely that our body will end up absorbing more phytosterol compared to cholesterol, because phytosterol tend to try to get into our body more. So and it was studied, people who had more cholesterol and more phytosterol, or people who had more vegetable oil, their tissue, different parts of their tissue were tested and found that phytosterol actually was used in the construction of those cells. And that is probably the reason why we have more stroke. Why? One of the building block of our red blood cells is cholesterol. Now, if we don't take enough cholesterol, and if we flood our body with a lot of phytosterol, which happens when we eat or consume a lot of vegetable oil, what happens is our body is forced to basically use phytosterol instead of cholesterol in places. So the red blood cell, it gets its shape, the disc kind of shape, because of cholesterol. And if we replace that with phytosterol, what happens is two things happen. One is its shape gets distorted a little bit, and the other thing is when it is made with cholesterol, it is elastic. It can be extended. I mean, you can pull it, it'll get elongated, and if you let it go, it'll go back to its original shape. Whereas when you do it with phytosterol, you cannot pull it. If you pull, it'll break. So when it's made with cholesterol, what happens is it can go through really thin, tiny capillaries, because it can change the shape. But if the red blood cell is constructed with phytosterol, then it has a fixed rigid shape, so it cannot go through those thin tiny capillaries, and they end up blocking the capillaries. The result is you get stroke. And because vegetable oil has got a huge amount of omega-6 that causes inflammation inside our body, what happens is you take a lot of vegetable oil and you start getting these inflammations. Inflammations are like little inflammatory problems that we have inside including our blood vessels. So the arteries, the veins, we get damage inside them, and the more time passes, the more this artery keeps on getting damaged, and gradually the artery gets thinner or narrower and narrower and narrower, and finally we end up having cardiovascular disease. So that is why scientists now believe that people who consume more vegetable oil, they end up having more strokes and heart disease, even though theoretically we were told by the medical industry that it'll be the other way around. For a healthy heart, you need to have healthy vegetable oil. When Dr. Nadir Ali was asked about this, whether comparing olive oil and an animal fat, comparing these two, which will be better, he said animal fat is going to be better compared to any vegetable oil. Even though coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, they are good kind of vegetable oil, but fat, ghee, butter, fat from animal fat, fat you get with meat, that is still much better for human beings, for the functioning of our body. So that was the discussion for today's video. Hopefully I have given you some information which you can use in your life to improve your health. If you find this video interesting, please consider subscribing to my channel, and hopefully I'll see you again. Thank you so much for staying with me for this long. Take care. Bye-bye.